let's go make this little interview.
Yeah.
So I did already an interview with Felix before, with Flavien Fouché, with the two Colombians, Manuel and Alex. And I was thinking for sure you have to be in the interview too because you do the podcast now and it's really cool.
Yeah.
Can you tell me or tell us why you got this idea and why you do this?
You can start.
Yeah, I think we both love podcasts, and on all our long bike rides we'll be listening. And I was like, why is there not a speed skating podcast? If I was a 12-year-old kid and I had these role models with these great skaters, like you just mentioned, Felix Ryan and so, I would love to have content like that with just the big stars and get to know who they are really, because it's the ones we train together with, compete against, and our friends. So when we have a talk like and a coffee, you can get to know them in a way better way, I think, than a podcast. Yeah.
We did one together also with Frank Fierce when we were in Geisingen.
Yeah.
And I got many people giving me feedback and said that was really cool and stuff. So I think it's already a good success you make it. Where can we find your podcast already?
Yeah, it's in most places like Spotify and iTunes, and we try to get it on as many different.
It should be on all platforms. So on your phone, find podcasts, search for the Dual Power podcast, and it should be there. Yeah.
That's cool. And so let's talk a little bit about you also. Like, you were on the ice recently. Where were you training just like the weeks before?
We've been in Salt Lake City for almost 7 weeks, so training there with different groups with the national team and a program called the Flash program. So it's been nice, and also with Victor, who's living there, a Danish ice skater. So we've been practicing a little bit team pursuits as well, and it'll be nice.
Every year we're outside Denmark like 250 days a year, so it's like from place to place. So it's 2 months Salt Lake, now 2 months Holland, then it's 2 months all over the world with World Cups. So Berlin Marathon is like the last inline race we do, but we don't skate on inline at all. Like a month before that, World Championships was the last time we really skated on inline.
Why you come to Berlin still?
Berlin is awesome. Berlin for me is
race,
my favorite race. It's it is the biggest race in the world, and you feel it when you're here. And it's not just like World Championships where you have the same people you always skate against. You have everyone here, and it's such a nice atmosphere skating through the streets of Berlin. Like everybody who's a speed skater, I hope they experience that.
Yeah, and you know, when I restarted skating a few years ago, I restarted with Berlin actually, and skating there it motivated me to skate a little more later.
Yeah.
And the more people will come here, the better it will be still, and it gives motivation for almost the whole year because it's such a fantastic race.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you came here again between all this ice and inline season.
Yeah.
So since how many years you do the ice now?
More than 10 years. I think I've been inline skating for 19 years, ice skating more than 10 years. So I mean the same people like Peter Michael or Bart Swanks who you say, you looked up to them and then you changed. Like we did it before that because we had ice in Denmark and you can't train very well in winter. But they have another level than I do on inline. So when they stepped on ice, they could bring that level as well. But I still went to the Olympics. But I think that's also because I was on the ice for that many years, and the same for you as well.
Yeah, we started like a project in like Scandinavia without Norway, but like Finland and Finland, Sweden and Denmark, and we just went for some training camps in Berlin. So that was like 2 weeks in a year almost. We were only on ice for 2 weeks for a whole season, but now it's like, we already been there for 2 months.
And it's so nice to see almost all inline skaters now thinking in their head, at least, if they should choose to do this and not to try and go on ice in winter. And for us, that's when it started to really go well, because then we were training well all year instead of training well only half a year and then playing hockey and stuff indoor.
But how it's possible for us? Denmark still is the smallest country for inline skating. There is not so many skaters, but still this country is able to manage a team for inline and do good, and ice and do good. There's many other countries who are much more powerful in our inline sport that cannot do it. So what's the secret from the Danish to make this possible?
I think it's like mainly like our group with our coach who he didn't carry us, but like he had a good group of good people, and now there's of course not a lot left, but we always had each other, Stefan and I, so we've always been training together and had big ambitions, and our coach always believed in us and always followed us all the way till now, to this day. So,
I think being a small country was hard a lot of the times because you train alone, but at the same time when you train alone you know that you have to go elsewhere to train a lot of the time from a quite early age. So we've been training with the Belgium national team, the Dutch national team. We went on training camps on ice with other national teams, so we've always been used to going elsewhere to train with other people, so it wasn't that weird to just go elsewhere and train on ice in winter as well.
And now you have a good team for the team pursuit. Almost 5 skaters who could qualify for the Olympic, maybe between men and women.
It's we have a handful in Denmark, and all of them are great skaters. So we don't have a system where there's a lot of structure and recruitment and then talent and then the elite. It's a very fragile project in that way. It's few people, but the few people who are there, they're all in. And
so you put everything on the skater you have and try to give the best.
It's a crazy dream. It's a stupid dream in a way as well as like the Jamaican bobsled, because you don't have ice skating in Denmark. We don't have a culture for it, so it's just people who want to go to Olympics in a sport they can't do at home. That's us.
I think it's more or less because like the few people who actually makes it to a high level, they already like been through a lot, because we don't really have the facilities, so they really like we want it a lot. Like the ones they've been used to like going inlines in the rain in like 5 degrees, like in the winter, or -5 degrees even.
I think,
and if you can get through that, then when you get good facilities, if you go to Salt Lake City or to Holland, like you see all the possibilities.
It feels like luxury, because we're used to that, and then all the other people are like, why is this like this? And like it's a small thing, and for us it doesn't matter because we can train.
So when you were training under the rain at 5 degrees, you never regret to do it. It was like
sometimes
good to do it.
It was good. It was good to do it growing up and getting that toughness, and you were just used to that. It was dark and it was cold, and there wasn't that many people who showed up for training. And then later, when you started having training camps and you had sun and better tracks and more people, and then you start traveling, like it gets nicer and nicer and nicer. If we had everything to begin with, I think we wouldn't see that as a luxury. We would just see it as the standard. So in that way, everything now we do, we feel privileged.
You get the best out of yourself, like when you have the facilities, because you like when the facilities are not there, you need to get everything out of it to be on the same level as the people who has the facilities.
And then when you get better facilities, you can get even more out of that as well.
So it's like you could have given up 20 times during the process. No?
For sure, more than that. I think that the idea has always been there, just because it can be so difficult. I mean, it's difficult, but it's also nice in a way. When you do succeed, then it feels even nicer, even though it's been more difficult than it probably should have been. If you grew up in a well-established, good system. But the challenge is nice.
It's good to see the Danish successful in this. It's nice to see you travel all around, like you say, more than 200 or something days in the year. It's a hard life, but it's also a cool life. No?
It's a very, very privileged life. It's nice. You get all these great experiences in different places with different people. And I think, for one thing, we just skate in circles, if it's on asphalt or in frozen water. That doesn't really make sense in itself, but when you do go to different places, talk with people, have the experiences, follow a tough training program, all those things, they make more sense in the way that it makes you able as a human being to withstand a lot of things, I think, and it helps you in life.
It's for sure amazing. It's a crazy life, but it's really amazing also. You learn a lot from it.
Lucky life as well.
And tomorrow Berlin race. Do you expect something, or is just pure fun for you tomorrow? Or try to be competitive, or just like having fun in the race?
Nah, we're here to be competitive.
Let's see.
And that's the fun part as well. So I mean, everybody have seen how it turned out the last 6 years. So I think there's one certain guy you have to look out for, and you need to be aggressive in the race. It almost never ends in a finish sprint, and I don't want to sit in there and wait for a finish sprint either. You gotta be out there, try to kill yourself and hope that you kill the others in the process as well.
It's gonna be a fast race, I guess.
For sure.
You raced last year also, and the years before?
I was there last year's different version, but like all the other years we've been there, and
I think this is my 8th time or something. And the first 2 years I was here, I was not old enough to race, so I had to ride the wrong age to be able to register. No, I can say this. It's okay now. It's okay now. It's so long ago. They will forgive me for it. But I had to ride the wrong age because I was too young. So they always had the wrong age registered for me. So I was always 2 years
how old are
younger.
you?
I was from 92 instead of 94. But I changed it back now. I told them like a year ago. So the lie is out there. They know like
I mean, we did marathon since we were like small kids. I did my first marathon when I was 9 years old, and for a lot of people that's crazy or stupid. I don't know, but like
we've loved it.
Possible,
we've always loved the marathon. Like
I'm still here.
What was your best performance in Berlin so far?
I had one time 7th place where I was in the breakaway. And I keep thinking back to I was a junior on power slide, and I keep thinking back to that breakaway, and I was like, man, I should have attacked there. And but I want to get in that breakaway again because I know I'm way stronger this time, and I can do something in the final, and I want to try my shot.
Yeah, for me, I think I can't even remember. 33 last year. I'm not sure if that's my best performance actually, but that's what I remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's the level is really high. I mean, there's so many world champions at the start, on the starting line, and everybody wants to win this race. So like being in the top 20 is already a great performance for Berlin, you think, or what's the average good performance like here?
For us or
for any skater, you think?
Any skater.
Yeah, like Berlin Marathon is like a benchmark race in the way that if you do finish with the group, you're a good skater. You're a strong skater. But within finishing with the group, you have guys who can break away or something. And I think the field sprints sometimes they can be a bit hard to predict. Like if you have a good position going under Brandenburger Tor, then it's good. And that fighting for position, I feel like I've never been that lucky, or I always feel like I had all the teams there and I would be the one on the outside starting the sprint way too early. So I don't know, but if you finish with the group, you're already a great skater, I think.
So that's maybe one of my goals for tomorrow. Try to follow you guys kind of 1 hour.
But for me, a good performance is not from the results. I want to see you attack Pascal, and then I'll be like, I'll buy you a beer at the after party.
I win a beer at the party. Okay.
Hats off to you then. But if you break away,
that would be hard. Not a safe tactic for me. But I always think of it during the race, maybe. Thank you guys for all the great job you do with the podcast. For sure, keep going with this because we love it. Thank you, and good luck for tomorrow. I hope I can make my little attack.